Let's be clear. May is not a surface level month. Not for you, not ever, but especially not now. There's something quietly radical brewing in your world, Scorpio, and it starts with one single seismic internal shift. You are no longer willing to abandon yourself to keep the peace. This month brings you to a moment where clarity becomes non-negotiable, where patterns snap, where boundaries lock into place, not because you're angry, but because you're finally centered in truth. You're walking away from what doesn't nourish you. You're saying no with love. You're not asking for transformation. You are the transformation. With a potent mix of planetary pressure and deep inner reckoning, May asks you to slow down and listen, not to the chaos of others, but to the quiet knowing inside you that's been trying to get your attention for months. This is the month your emotional ecosystem changes, your heart recalibrates, and your soul starts walking in its full power again, on your terms. For you, Scorpio, love has never been about light flirtation or casual affection. It's about depth, devotion, the unspoken bond that ties two souls together in a way that no one else can understand. And May, it brings that sacred intensity right to the surface. But this time, with a twist. Because this time, it's not just about emotional intensity, it's about emotional honesty. With Venus and Mercury activating your 7th house of partnerships early in the month, your relationships are front and center. But not in a soft focus, romantic comedy kind of way. Think more, emotional X-ray machine. You see everything, every pattern, every power imbalance, every place where you've been giving too much or holding back out of fear. And around May 7th, expect something or someone to stir the pot. A conversation, a memory, a message from someone you thought was gone for good. If you're in a relationship, this could be the month where everything that's been swept under the rug rises to the surface. That may sound intense, and it is, but it's also healing. Because Scorpio, you are not here for surface-level love. You are here for truth. And if your relationship can't meet you there, that's a signal, not a failure. For some, this month will feel like a resurrection, reviving a bond that's been dimmed by distraction or misalignment. For others, it's a necessary ending, not out of cruelty, but out of clarity. And for a few of you, it's something new, a connection that doesn't spark with chaos or drama, but with something deeper, calmer, safer. If you're single, May is a powerful portal for calling in a connection that actually supports your emotional range. You may meet someone who doesn't flinch when you go deep, someone who listens, who doesn't ask you to shrink. But here's the key. You have to stop hiding the parts of yourself that want to be chosen. You can't summon soul-level love while performing emotional safety. Let your intensity show, let your standards rise, let your sensitivity speak. Not everyone will get it, but the right person won't just get it. They'll want it. This is also a month for recognizing emotional contracts you've been unconsciously upholding. That friendship that drains you, that situationship that confuses you, that ex who keeps appearing just enough to keep you wondering. May brings those cycles to the light, and once you see them clearly, you won't go back. Scorpio, you're known for transformation. But this month, the transformation is not about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to the version of you that no longer needs to earn love, because they finally believe they are love. Let May be the month where you stop over-explaining, over-justifying, and over-giving. Let it be the month you feel the difference between being seen and being used. Let it be the month where your love life becomes a mirror of your truth, not your wounds. The right connections won't be scared of your darkness. They'll meet you in it and light a match. This month, wellness for you isn't about trends or to-do lists. It's about reconnection to self. You're not just managing stress. You're unpacking what's been driving it. And in May 2025, your body becomes the clearest messenger of all. With energy moving through your sixth house, governing health, habits, and daily rhythm, your nervous system takes the lead. And it's not whispering, it's speaking loud and clear. The question is, are you listening? If you've been experiencing fatigue, disrupted sleep, tightness in your chest, or headaches that don't make medical sense, they may not be just stress. They may be your body trying to alert you to an emotional misalignment. The brilliant part? Once you tune in, you can actually heal, not just cope. Your body doesn't lie. When something feels off in your career, relationships, or even environment, it will speak. And in May, it's speaking in detail. You may find yourself craving rest like you never have before. Not because you're lazy, but because your inner world is finally asking for integration, not just reaction. This is also a month where your routines get a makeover, but not the kind that feels rigid or punishing. You may be guided toward healing modalities that feel almost intuitive: somatic movement, breath work, cold plunges, lymphatic drainage, or even spiritual cleansing like energetic cord cutting or aura work. None of this has to be dramatic. It can be as simple as swapping late-night screen time for deep sleep, as gentle as drinking warm lemon water before coffee, as bold as cutting ties with a practitioner who no longer serves you and seeking out someone who actually sees your full self. Around May 14th to 16th, clarity lands, possibly through a conversation, a test result, or a moment of deep emotional unraveling that seems random but brings instant relief. Don't brush it off. This is your pivot moment. Don't wait for your health to break down to give it the attention it's quietly been asking for. And here's the deeper truth. You are allowed to create a lifestyle that prioritizes well-being before burnout forces your hand. You don't need a breakdown to earn your right to slow down. This also applies to emotional nutrition. What are you consuming mentally? What are your screens, your scrolls, your social dynamics feeding you? May asks you to audit that, not to go full digital detox, but to become intentional about what your subconscious is absorbing all day long. Even your relationship to movement may evolve. If workouts have felt like punishment, this is the month you rediscover movement as medicine. Dance, swim, stretch, box, lift, walk. Do it not to change your body, but to come back into it. You're not here to be efficient. You're here to be whole, and your body knows how to get you there if you let it lead. This month, radical wellness isn't a reset. It's a reunion with the part of you that knows balance is not a luxury. It's a baseline. Your career is not just a job title, a paycheck, or a business card. It's a living mirror of your values, worth, and truth. And this May, Scorpio, the mirror becomes crystal clear. With the sun in your 7th house until May 20th, and key planetary activity triggering themes of partnership and projection, you begin to see how much of your work life has been built around expectations, but not necessarily your own. You may realize you've been performing for approval, proving yourself out of fear, or staying small to avoid being too much. That ends now. This is the month where professional realignment becomes urgent. Not because you're in crisis, but because you can finally admit, this isn't big enough for me anymore. That client, that system, that goalpost you've outgrown, you don't need to explain it to anyone, but you do need to act on it. Around May 17th to 19th, a conversation or a realization might rock the boat, but in the best way. A mentor reveals a hidden door. A colleague reflects your unspoken truth. A project suddenly collapses, making space for something 100 times more aligned. Pay close attention. This is not coincidence. This is choreography. And here's what's wild. The second you stop betraying your instincts at work, even a little bit, you start receiving differently. Clients, collaborations, and contracts that used to feel out of reach suddenly land in your inbox. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally stopped hiding. If you're employed and feeling stuck, May gives you options. You may start quietly planning your exit or renegotiating your role to better fit your genius. Don't rush, but do prepare. You don't need a dramatic leap to create a shift. You need a strategy that honors your vision and your nervous system. For entrepreneurs, this month is gold. You're being shown exactly where to cut the fluff and double down on what actually works. And that might mean making uncomfortable decisions, rebranding, releasing certain offers, or calling out patterns that aren't serving your clients or your sanity. There's also power in vulnerability here. You don't have to keep the "I've got it all together" act going. When you speak from your center, not your armor, you attract allies who meet you in your truth. And business built on truth, that's the kind that actually lasts. Another layer this month, money and recognition tied to integrity. You may have a chance to earn more, but only if the method matches your soul. If you try to compromise, cut corners, say yes to the wrong gig, take the shortcut, you'll feel it immediately. Not as failure, but as friction. Listen to it. Redirect. Because this is your moment to go from hardworking to fully aligned. To stop hustling for a vision you don't believe in anymore, and to start leading from the deepest part of your knowing. The one that whispers, you're not just here to succeed. You're here to shift the whole game. Scorpio, May hands you the mic. Use your voice. Use your depth. And most of all, use your power for something that truly lights your fire. If you've been approaching money like a game of survival, earning just enough to breathe, spending just enough to stay afloat, this month asks for a whole new strategy. May 2025 doesn't just want you to make money. It wants you to heal your relationship with it. This is not about spreadsheets, though you'll probably look at them. This is about the deeper current. What does wealth mean to you now? And just as importantly, where did your current beliefs come from? There's a good chance May shines a spotlight on some ancestral or early life narratives you've been carrying. Maybe it's the belief that money has to be hard-earned to be deserved. Maybe it's guilt around wanting more than your family had. Or maybe it's an old fear that receiving too much could come with invisible strings attached. These beliefs don't just live in your mind, they live in your body. And when they surface this month, you'll feel it. The moment to rewrite them is here. You may have a conversation or financial event around May 14th to 15th that triggers these themes. It could be a bill, a windfall, a raise, or even someone else's financial drama echoing something unhealed in you. Instead of reacting, pause, reflect, and ask, what's the bigger truth here? Is this an old story or a new chapter waiting to start? What makes this month powerful is that you're not just tracking what you earn. You're tracking how it feels, where it's coming from, what it costs you, and what it frees up. There's a difference between income and impact, between revenue and respect, between making a living and creating a life. And speaking of living, May asks you to start spending like your future self, not recklessly, not lavishly, but intentionally. Invest in what stabilizes your nervous system, expands your creativity, and gives you time back. Don't buy to impress. Buy to build. Buy to soothe. Buy to support the version of you that's done chasing scraps and ready to receive fully. This could mean hiring help, financial or emotional. It could mean finally getting that course, software, or system that gets you out of money chaos and into flow. Or it could mean unsubscribing from 5 money expert newsletters that only make you feel behind. You don't need more noise. You need a clear signal. For many Scorpios, this month also brings a moment of emotional ROI. You realize how much peace you've been trading for convenience, how much time you've given to projects that never poured back into you. how much energy you've leaked through undercharging or overcompensating, and when that moment hits, you won't need permission to change it. You'll just do it. Because emotional wealth is the real currency, the kind that lets you wake up calm, go to bed proud, say no with ease, say yes without fear. And May, if you let it, will help you start accumulating that wealth, for real. This is the month you stop chasing more and start building enough, not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, practically. Because Scorpio, when your money is rooted in meaning, it multiplies on every level. You've been out in the world, Scorpio, working, performing, navigating, holding space, but May calls you inward, not in isolation, but in sanctuary. This month brings a slow but undeniable pull toward home. Whatever home means to you right now, it's asking for your attention, and maybe your reinvention. This isn't about interior design trends or logistics, though you may be tempted to move furniture, light candles, or redecorate. This is energetic housekeeping. It's about the unseen energy that builds up when you've been pretending you're okay when really, you've been holding too much. If you've been emotionally overwhelmed but avoiding stillness, this is the month where stillness finds you, and it shows you where you've been bypassing your own needs. Around May 18th to 20th, a shift happens. It may be external, family conversations, realizations about childhood dynamics, news from a sibling, or a physical relocation. But more often, it's internal. You begin to feel where you're no longer available to hold others' burdens, not from resentment, but from reclamation. You are not the family fixer anymore. You are not the emotional buffer. You are not the secret container for everyone else's fear, guilt, or shame. And if you've been living in a home that holds those echoes, May offers you the power to reset. This reset may be subtle, sage and prayer, journaling and boundaries, rewriting the rules of who gets your time and how often. Or it may be massive, moving out, moving in, rebuilding your relationship with someone you haven't been able to forgive, including yourself. Don't underestimate how profound this healing is. You might finally realize that a certain room in your home never feels restful because it holds a memory, or that an old object you've kept out of guilt is quietly draining your energy. This isn't about becoming a minimalist. It's about becoming intentional. And if you're in a shared living space, especially one that's been feeling emotionally loud, you may start asserting new terms, new rhythms, new needs, not to punish anyone, but to remind yourself that you're allowed to feel safe, seen, and at peace in your own home. There's also a deeper sense of ancestral reckoning here. You're breaking cycles, healing lineage, choosing differently than those who came before. And even if no one claps or notices, you will feel it. The tension will ease, the static will stop, your space will start breathing again. So will your nervous system. Some Scorpios may also reconnect with family in ways that surprise them. A parent softens, a sibling shows up, a conversation finally lands. But this only happens when you start showing up as the version of yourself that no longer needs to perform safety. You simply embody it. Let your home become a reflection of the life you're building, not the pain you've survived. Light the candles, clean the closet, set the boundary, burn the letter, say the thing. This is your inner chamber. And this month, it's being rewritten into a sanctuary worthy of the soul that lives there. There's something tender about the way joy returns to your life this month, Scorpio. Not like a tidal wave, more like a sunrise. Soft, gradual, warm. A reminder that no matter how deep the healing goes, there is always room for light. And May wants you to remember how it feels to move toward pleasure, not just progress. Let's start with beauty, because it's not just aesthetic. For you, it's ritual, sensory therapy. a way to reconnect with embodiment. And this month, you're craving it in new ways. Maybe you begin reaching for textures that feel softer, colors that reflect your evolving mood, scents that ground you when the world feels overwhelming. Maybe you chop your hair off or grow it out. Change your look. Reclaim your mirror space from the voice that critiques it. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about allowing yourself to be seen as you are now, more awake, more honest, more radiant than you've been in a long time. And when you start aligning your outer expression with your inner evolution, heads will turn, not because you're louder, because you're clearer. Around May 23rd to 25th, your confidence hits a turning point. Something shifts in how you present yourself, whether that's style, posture, or how you speak. And people notice, not just because you're glowing, but because you're no longer asking permission to shine. And then there's travel. Oh, Scorpio, May wants you to go, even if it's not far, even if it's just for the weekend. Especially if you've been saying, I don't have time. That phrase is a code for, I don't feel like I'm allowed to step away. And this month is about rewriting that. Movement is medicine now, not just for fun, for perspective. A change of scenery will remind you that your life doesn't have to feel like it's on loop. You may even find unexpected clarity while in motion, on a train, a plane, a road trip, a walk, not because you're seeking answers, because you finally stopped gripping for them. If you can't travel physically, seek novelty in other ways. A new coffee shop, a weekend unplugged, a different path on your walk. Even rearranging your space can shift your internal compass. The point is, you've been too still for too long, and your spirit is ready to stretch. Creatively, too, you're opening, not necessarily for public work, but for personal expression. Journaling, painting, voice notes to yourself, dancing like no one's watching. These are your portals now. They're how you start to enjoy your own company again. They're how you come back to joy without obligation. Because that's the bigger truth here. You don't have to earn your joy through healing. You don't have to wait until you're better to have fun. You don't have to solve it all to dance barefoot at midnight. Let this be the month where you let go of waiting. Let the light back in. Let the laughter be messy. Let the beauty be yours. Let the healing be quieter. Let life, just for a moment, feel like yours again.